If you plan on drinking to bring in the new year, you might want to think twice before getting behind the wheel, because more police officers will be roaming the streets, especially paying attention to suspicious driving activity. With the massive amount of snow that was dumped on us being the culprit this week, and temperatures still below freezing, officials are concerned about ice on the roads. With Thanksgiving only 5 days away, that can only mean one thing: Black Friday shopping. But online retailers say if you just wait 3 more days until Cyber Monday, it will be safer and the sales could be even bigger. A single subway ride costs $2.50. But soon the MTA says they may bump up the price to $2.75. Cuernavaca, Mexico, known as the City of Eternal Spring. It's a popular tourist destination and a popular place to come and learn Spanish. But on December 16th, 2009, it was anything but that, because on that very day, the war on drugs happened right here.
When I hear that happen, that makes me feel like everything's gonna change.
Norma Lescano was working at the State University of New York at Brockport when she heard about the news.
And I was just see the news and the television. I couldn't believe that happened, and I recognized the street and recognized everything, and they was talking about Cuernavaca.
Arturo Beltran Lleva, known as El Jefe de Jefes, and one of Mexico's most notorious drug lords, was shot and killed in his luxury apartment by the Mexican Navy. Look at this video from Mexican television showing the standoff between his forces and some 200 Mexican Marines.
And this is very close to my house, actually. So I was really scared in the beginning because I didn't know what's exactly happening in there.
So with the uncertainty of the safety of her family, Norma decided to move back to Mexico. But almost 4 years later, how safe is Cuernavaca now, and what tactics are being performed by the government?
But the strategy now has changed.
Mayor of Cuernavaca, Jorge Morales Barud, says attacking the causes of why people want to join the cartels in the first place are essential.
Social and economic inequalities, a lack of opportunities for everyone.
And because of that, improvements need to be made.
To improve the neighborhoods, to improve the public places where the families meet, no? In order to improve the parks, improve schools.
As for Norma, well, she doesn't regret returning to the place she calls home.
Actually, the situation in Cuernavaca was not actually so bad like the news presented. It was everybody was doing everything normal, and we just tried to keep in our life.
And I should also mention that Mayor Barud told me that Cuernavaca is significantly safer than it has been in the past few years, and that it's no more dangerous than the average U.S. city. Reporting from Cuernavaca, Mexico, I'm Anthony Hill. It's a hot summer day in the Bronx. But the heat won't keep these neighborhood kids from doing what they do best.
Hopscotch and the jump ropes.
I've been skateboarding, running around, playing with my friends.
Me and him, we've been skateboarding and riding bikes.
But today, they're playing a little safer on 183rd Street and Morris Avenue, all thanks to this man.
We'll let the criminals know that we are back and we taking over our streets and blocks.
Nero Graham Jr. is the head and founder of this block's National Night Out event.
Where the whole nations come together, the whole world come together on this night, this day, and they come out in unity.
Elaine Watts is the head of her community's National Night Out and came by to support.
So I know the importance of safe environment for the kids in our community.
And in addition to just being out and playing, they're also serving food out here. On the menu, hot dogs and hamburgers.
We got like 75 burgers, 75 hot dogs, just for the kids, for the block, for the neighborhood.
There was also a live DJ. Nero says there's one thing in particular that inspires him to throw on this block-long event.
Because of the need within the community.
A need that Nero, a community activist, takes personal. Reporting from the Bronx, I'm Anthony Hill. In the days after the Boston bombings, officials would set out to look for any suspects that could have had anything to do with it. They'd eventually narrow down their investigation to the Tsarnaev brothers, but they were only able to do that through the use of surveillance cameras, which brings up the question, are surveillance cameras the way of the future?
It's such a crazy world today.
They're the source of much controversy, and they're called many things. Big Brother, eyes, and the skies. They're surveillance cameras, and they record everything and everyone in its vicinity.
I think we need cameras. I think it's become a place now where we got to have policing. You know, unfortunately, it's come to that, but that's just the way it is.
Well, I think that they never would have caught him if it wasn't for the surveillance cameras.
Around our neighborhoods and our homes, I think it's more intrusive.
The debate over surveillance cameras has taken place for years, but after the Boston bombings, the conversation on what place surveillance cameras have in our society gets a little more complicated.
It's more of a security policy to protect those who are not the criminal element than it is an infringement upon the rights of those who are committing crimes.
This is Diane Brand. She's a public justice professor at Oswego State University, and she says if you're not doing anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about.
But when people do commit crimes and it is captured on surveillance, it's a wonderful law enforcement tool.
And I guess it's fair to say that in small cities and towns like Oswego, a surveillance camera on every single block type of policy won't be implemented anytime soon. But after the Boston bombings, it sure does make security policy a lot more complicated. Reporting for WTOP 10 News, I'm Anthony Hill.